The Spin-off Podcast Network.
This is Kiwi is back for a brand new season with more inspiring kōrero from special guests including rugby player, father and role model TJ Perenara.
My family bring me joy. Rugby brings me joy too, but it's not the same joy as my family brings me.
And global dancer and choreographer Kirsten Dodgen.
For some reason, people think I'm very intimidating.
Listen to the new season of This is Kiwi, brought to you by the Spin-off Podcast Network in collaboration with KiwiBank. Available now wherever you get your podcasts.
Do you find it hard staying optimistic with all the financial news in the media? I'm Bernard Hickey, and on my podcast, When the Facts Change, I'm here to help you navigate the ever-changing landscape of economics in Aotearoa. So join the conversation every Friday on When the Facts Change, brought to you by the Spin-off Podcast Network in partnership with KiwiBank.
Hey, it's Dua Lipa, and I'm here to tell you about my brand new podcast, Dua Lipa at Your Service. You might know me as a singer, writer, and inquiring mind, and now I'm adding podcasts to that list.
Join Dua Lipa for inspiring stories, tools, tips, and recommendations, alongside some of the world's most exciting minds. Her guests roll deep on success, failure, obstacles, and what we can learn from them.
I can't wait to share all of this and more with you. Listen to Dua Lipa at Your Service on the iHeartRadio app.
iHeartRadio.
Delete your Outlook calendar. This is the only agenda you need to worry about.
Play it late, basically. Play it late. So
under your eyes.
You play it late, turn up late, come home from work late. Turn up to birthday parties late.
The Agenda with G Lane, James McConey and Matthew Heath. Download it for free today from iHeartRadio, New Zealand's #1 podcast platform. The Alternative Commentary Collective, your home of sports entertainment.
Your eyelashes are really something.
Thank you.
Can I have a look?
I've been working really hard on them.
Whoa.
I've been using a serum.
Whoppers.
Do you think they're too long? This is the problem, because Joe was like, they're growing like weeds.
Never too long.
Okay.
Never too long.
They're starting to touch my glasses,
It's
and
fine.
I feel so proud.
That's crazy.
As a woman, as a feminist.
Kia ora e Stefano, welcome along to The Real Pod. This is the real recap of Below Deck Down Under. You have 3 captains. And
We're all wearing hats.
We're wearing captains' hats. I kid you not. We've been sent lovely captains' hats.
You can't have 3 captains, because this is like Captain Phillips.
Who's Captain Phillips?
Well, you know,
Is that one of your films?
you know the I'm the captain now, famous.
No.
Come on.
No.
Tom Hanks.
Is this a millennial meme?
Tom Hanks, look at me, I'm the
Classic
captain
millennial
now.
Tom Hanks.
Everyone out there is groaning at you two.
What's new? I'd like to introduce myself, Janie, but also Alex Casey,
Hello.
Captain.
Hello.
Alex Casey, Captain Duncan Grieve.
Aye, aye.
We have been sent captain's hats from Bravo to thank us for our tireless hard work watching and reporting on Below Deck Down Under, and we're wearing them with pride.
When I walked into the office and I saw one sitting on someone's desk, I was instantly filled with a hot, jealous rage.
Really?
Yeah. I was like, what is that? Do I have one? And I did.
Yeah, you do. My head, these are nature's finest polyester, I reckon, and my head is hot.
It's getting warm, it is.
I can only imagine what it's like for you with like your long, luscious manes.
It's hard going.
I'm sweating already. Okay, anyway, we are recapping episode 4 of Below Deck Down Under. Not the most dramatic episode. So before we get into that, let's just shimmy over to Alex's corner, because her life is one dramatic.
Do you want
episode.
the drama from this week? Well, I had a fire alarm, a Captain Jason style fire, and I didn't know if it was a drill or not, because I live in a big apartment building that's also half a hotel. So there's a lot of people in there, things can go wrong, things can catch on fire. A big drill went off, and the first time it happened, we went out in the middle of the night, and everyone had brought all their pets, including their cats in cages, and we had left our cat. It didn't occur to me for 1 second to take the cat. So this time, yesterday I was working from home, and I heard the drill start, and I was like, here we go. Captain Phillips, I know what to do here. Got the cage. The cat immediately flattened himself under the couch like this. I wedged myself under the couch trying to get the cat. The drill is the alarm is screaming right now. I got stuck under the couch.
No.
And then I went, this is what you read about. This is, you don't sacrifice
No.
yourself. It's the possum or the me. You know that ad? It's me or the
put the mask on
possum.
yourself first and
Before
then the
assisting
child.
others.
Yeah, so don't trap yourself under the couch before you don't trap the cat.
So were you there for hours until Joe got home and rescued you, or did you?
No,
offer
I
Robbie?
managed to shimmy out, and then I was like, don't talk about him. Beep. So then I got 2 long things of wrapping paper and tried to get the cat out like their giant chopsticks. And the cat was hissing at this point. The alarm was still going off, and I was like, this could be a real fire, you know, and I am on the 4th floor, and I had to make a life or death decision, and I left the cat.
Again.
This
is crazy.
And I said, I'm sorry, Mum.
I wonder if people will come for you. Like now that you're a known kind of cat ambivalent.
That is how I die, though, stuck under the couch trying to get my terrible cat.
To be fair.
Two things of wrapping paper.
To be fair.
And I had pimple patches all over my face. I was working from home, so I was like, seize the day. Let's work on myself.
I have a story about, not quite pimple patches, but something similar that I'll share because nothing's happened in my life this week. But just quickly on that, I don't think anyone can come for you because you made a fair attempt to get the cat.
I did, and I've got evidence. I took a photo of the open cage and the wrapping paper and sent
Again,
it to
that
Joe.
seems
Said I did all I could.
the wise thing to do. What does it say about our culture that you're like getting yourself an insurance policy photo?
Yeah. In the event only of my online cancellation, that's all I was thinking about. And the decline of my relationship, but anyway.
There was just a lovely awkward silence there.
I don't do those. That's great.
No,
Maybe
don't.
that's a new bit.
Can I tell you now about my thing? I might have told the story.
Tell us.
I might have told the story on the pod before. It goes back a long way. 40. It was the New Zealand Music Awards, and a music journalist from the UK, James McMahon, who used to write for NME and then went on, to, I think, to edit Kerrang. He was over covering a band called Cut Off Your Hands, who was on the music label that I was working for. And so I was charged with looking after Mr. McMahon. And he still emails me his playlist to this day. On an email list, not personally. But anyway, he had a shave before we went out, and picked him up, and he was covered with little shaving.
Wow, you don't see that anymore. That used to be a real big thing back in the day. My dad was like constantly.
Yeah,
really?
I mean, he
Covered in
was covered.
Razor tech has moved on.
And they just sort of dried over little bloody spots all
Did he have the
over.
tissue? The tissue
Yeah,
dots?
that's the technique.
I feel like I've only seen that in films.
Yeah, but he didn't have any tissues on there, right? Just the actual dots.
Oh, wow.
He turns out he was none the wiser. I obviously said nothing at all.
Do you know why this happened? It's because he used a hotel razor, and they're like one blade and they're super blunt, and you're just hacking away at yourself. I've been there.
Yeah. So we did the whole night out, big night at the New Zealand Music Awards, yada yada. Went out partying afterwards. Then
The best night
Then
of the
he
year.
messaged me the next day and was like, "Why did you not tell me that I was covered in spots of blood?"
That feels like a real Kerrang move, to be honest, to be like covered in blood when you're out partying.
Yeah, it was not the right kind of like cool rock and roll blood. That was very much blunt.
But it's not just your fault.
It's not my fault. He wasn't.
Falls on everybody.
He wasn't. Yeah, but I was sort of looking after him. You know, I don't think he didn't know anyone. Anyway, I did a bad job. Fire me.
As a society, we need to point that stuff out straight away.
Okay.
You've got to do it in the first moment. I've been doing it with people's like stuff in people's teeth recently. And it feels bad for a second, but then you feel good because they're so grateful.
I've got a stain on this tooth that it's a permanent embedded stain. Just lives there. A discoloration. And
This is a cool podcast.
it's so good. Get to the
Permanent
ceiling.
embedded stain feels like the title of the episode.
And people are always telling me I've got a bit of lipstick on my teeth. And I'm like,
Oh, no.
I'm awkward for them and for me. It's horrible.
I'm glad you told me that, Jane.
Yeah.
I was about to
You're about to say something like even though I'm not wearing lipstick. Yeah. You missed your lips entirely. Have you got anything, Dunk?
No, I never do, but I really found that delightful sharing from yous.
You. Okay, well let's get on board then, shall
I'm
we?
also being scammed.
Okay, here we go.
What?
No, I'm subject to a phone scam at the moment.
You're not being scammed. Your phone is being your what's the word when you're an
Scammed.
accomplice. You're anyway.
Someone is using my phone number to ring other people, and then they ring my number back.
Oh.
Yeah.
So it's like a sort of a phishing sort of trick.
It's called spoofing.
Spoofing.
Jane knows, like, weirdly quite a lot about it.
Do you know why? Okay, this was a conversation that was had in our work chat yesterday, and I just like to come in and be the person who knows everything. I just Googled it, mate.
Well, see, I did a lot of research. I even rang Spark, and the guy was like, it's a scam. And I was like, do I just live? Is this just my life now? Getting weird calls, calling people back, everyone being confused.
Let me explain it, Duncan.
Can I explain my experience and then you can explain why it's happening?
I get so excited about these
Because
things.
what happens is once a week, I get a missed call from a number, like a New Zealand number, and then I ring them back and they sound really confused and bamboozled. And they said, I missed a call from you. I was just calling you back. And then we just kind of have an awkward conversation and leave it. But I became convinced that I was being followed or something. It's a different person every time. And they sound like old and they don't sound like they want anything from me. But then Jane knows the real reason why this is happening.
I know why this is happening. So what happens is your mate abroad with an abroad phone number is wanting to do a good scam, right? And so they skim your number. They take your number and there's a way you can do it. Apparently it's not even that hard, especially with the internet these days. And so they can make it look like your number is coming up on other people's phones, even though it's their number. So these people don't answer. The ones who answer never call you back because they get on the phone with the scammer and they either get scammed or they clock onto it and they hang up. But the ones who don't answer your number then go, I've missed a call from this person. They ring you back. You're not answering, so you miss a call from them. And then and thusly, that's
and
what
I'm
happens.
excited when I get a call. Like, I was like, shit, what is this? Could be a story tip.
Yeah.
This could be could be NASA.
I am amazed that you ring people back on an unknown number.
I always
But
do.
it doesn't say, it's not unknown number. It doesn't say
I know,
that.
but even
that's
in
your-
it's not familiar
your
to
phone.
you.
It could be
What a
money,
thrill.
you know?
That's what they're
that's
hoping
my
you
philosophy.
think.
It could be a Nigerian prince.
I'm in sales.
Anyway, stay vigilant out there, and if you get a call from me, stay
Yeah, I mean,
more
chances are
vigilant.
you might get a missed call and you could call it back and you're on the hotline with Alex Casey. Like, there's a good chance at the moment. If you see a number come up on your phone and
It might be me.
it might be you.
And I don't have anything.
This is also, you could be front-footing a very elaborate scam of your own right now.
True.
You know, oh, my
Yeah.
number is ringing people.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, no,
Oh,
I don't know
no.
what to do.
Oh, there it
But
is,
I'm
ringing
here.
people again.
Oh, I know. I'm off to France and going to go on a luxury yacht for a while.
That's me.
Sorry, Grandma. Okay, so the pirates I've got here. I took all my notes on a tablet with a write and convert to text thing.
Whoa, have you got a remarkable?
No, it's just me iPad. Anyway, just an app. Except for that, it's named the episode "The Pirate's Body" in the conversion instead of booty. Anyway, so we start the episode with Benny knocking on the captain's door about 12:30 in the morning.
I was wrong, it turned out. Benny was trying to quit, not with any great fanfare, but he did give it a crack.
Yeah, he gave it a crack.
Where did you end? I apologise, I have not listened to the last Real Pod episode.
What?
It's got Aisha on it.
I know.
it,
Look,
so-
I really do interview, don't you?
Yeah, well, yeah, but you should hear a masterclass. in
Is it?
interviewing,
Also,
yeah.
I threw in a question from you at the end that was so just like second year journalism panic question to someone. You know,
Oh, yeah.
What was it?
Was it fuck, marry, kill?
Kiss, marry, kill. I was like,
I love Kiss, Marry, Kill.
I know, but you gave me a bunch of questions, and that's the only one that I used. I was like, Alex really wanted to ask this question.
And what did she say?
She said, who was Kiss? Kiss was Jack,
Jack.
because she's already been there.
Yeah.
Mary was
Jason.
and Ryan was Kill, which bodes
Yeah.
fantastically for the season, doesn't
That's
it?
great. That's really great.
Anyway,
Happy to contribute.
so we left off with Benny discovering the poo water and going up to just deciding that's it. That's the last straw. That's the last poo.
I feel like that was a bung move involving poor Kappa. And I think that's a real bosun's job when the toilet overspills.
Yeah, because
You go straight to the top.
Yeah,
When
okay.
there's a poo-nami.
Really?
Yeah.
no,
in
but
the middle of the
but
night.
he was going to quit as well at the same time. He was like, "There's a poo-nami and I would like to quit." And Captain Jason said, "Have a glass, mate. Relax." And then he was like, "Let's do this together." They're down there with the poo vacuum.
He's the trained plumber?
Yeah.
Have a glass of poo water, mate.
Yeah, I mean, he is the guy to help clean up the job.
I was initially like, people are overrating him, like on the just the pure handsomeness scale. But when you see his like radiatingly cool vibe at all times, you're like, yeah, no, I get it.
I respect plumbers so much.
So do I.
Yeah.
So do I.
Incredible. The wet vac.
Oh my God. I don't know that there was a wet vacuum cleaner.
It's so, but
Like vacuuming out of a toilet.
Oh my God.
It's so crazy.
But then
What a thing.
emptying the vacuum as well. Just all levels of
Does it?
yuck.
Do you empty it into the sea per se?
I think there are some rules about like they've got a big tank for waste. Cool pod. We've got a big tank for waste when they're X many kilometres or metres to shore, but once they're out in the wild blue yonder where there are no laws, you can just pump and dump.
Pump and dump. Hey, I love yous. Love you too. That exchange. Did you notice
was that the Capitan?
Like after they've done.
I just thought you were telling us.
Well, I do.
Okay.
But after they've done all of the poo cleanup, like 2 hours in the middle of the night, he tells his crew he loves them. And Benny, who's about to resign, comes back with a love you too. I was
very
so
sweet.
touched.
Benny did a full 180. Oh, it wasn't probably a 180. It was more like a 45. And he was just after some human connection when he came on the boat and down on his hands and knees, retching, vacuuming up poo with the captain. That was the moment that stopped him from quitting, that bonding experience. Because once you've cleaned up poo with someone, you're
bonded for
life. Yeah.
Do you have any workplace poo dramas?
Oh my God.
From your rich career?
I
know you've told me about some people's toilet things.
Some people's toilet.
I have other toilet things.
That's another great episode title.
I'm not sure about a poo specifically, but I've got other things related to other toilet-related things. But I don't really want to go into that.
Can I just talk about a poo that I saw?
Okay.
When I used to work at a cinema, we had to clean the toilets in each while everyone was in the session. And the men's toilet, we went down there and there was a form in the bowl that was so large, it was like a scone. The dimensions of a big scone.
Was it like a pile or was it a solid?
It was one solid scone.
How do you know though? Like,
wow.
Without touching it?
Because I looked at it.
That's a birth thing.
Oh, no.
I didn't touch it, but I was like, this is a crazy scone. How did this come out of someone's body? And also what had happened is there was no water in the bowl. Like, it had made everything crazy. I don't know what had happened, but there was no water in the bowl. There was just a giant scone sitting there. And I was like, I can't deal with this. This is not my pay grade. So I went straight to the captain. I went straight to the captain's office and I said, there's a crazy situation. And we had tried a lot of different things. Ended up pouring boiling water on it to break it down. This is the captain. Well, my boss did this. And it eventually broke down into small pieces. But it remains the biggest thing I have seen come out of a human body.
Even bigger than a baby.
Bigger than a baby. Bigger than some babies.
Wow. Yeah, that is a real Neil.
And Neil is a deep, deep cut. Winter is a great time to travel around New Zealand. If you're thinking about your next holiday, why not make it a road trip with Go See? Visit us at goseetravel.com today to find the rental vehicle to fit your holiday and get ready to explore.
Play NZ's #1 entertainment podcast.
Top 20 trusted New Zealand brands. Number 20, Cookie Time. Yum. Number 19.
From iHeartRadio, play ZM's Fletchborn and Haley. Available everywhere.
At Zed, we're all about moving with the times. And now it's time to be part of the climate change solution and move on from fossil fuels. As a company providing fuel to people all over the country, we also know we have a real opportunity to lead that change. We're committed to keeping Aotearoa moving by providing the right energy for everyone. We believe that innovation in fuel and how it's used can make a huge difference to our planet. Find out more at z.co.nz.
Okay, Magda's letting the laundry go. Laundry's a big deal on the boat.
Yeah. Right. Well, especially when you've got like 3 loads of poo towels now.
That's right.
And the captain's lost his boardies.
Oh, sad.
And once the captain's lost his boardies, he's going to lose his mind next, And
yeah, he loses his good humour.
My mum, those washing machines that they have on those boats? My mum, ever after a bargain, she bought some ex-luxury yacht washing machine and dryer, those big stainless steel ones, fucking massive, like humongous, that deep.
Wow.
I'm doing a thing that you can't see, but it's very deep. Very deep. She's only just got rid of them. She's had them for years and years and years.
They would go
Because they were Miele, you see. So fancy brand got them for a song.
Where does she get? Where
Go
do you buy
Mum.
super
Where
yacht
does my mum
stuff?
buy anything? Seriously, I do not know.
Story, I
Mike
reckon.
Potter's Coke fridge and
Yeah, she's got all manner of things. Actually, she's doing a
Whiteware.
big clear out when I'm going around on the weekend if you want to come with.
Oh shit.
Yeah, anyway, I'll talk off here about that. Yeah, so but the laundry's Magda's burden to bear, and she's not doing a good job of it.
No, she doesn't vibe like that's her main thing. Her main thing seems to be sort of stringing Ryan along to get some good brekkie.
Bagels, yum bagel though. Like he did her a good bagel. He did her like
He's really horny.
He is so horny.
I thought, who was it? Jamie was Jamie. Jamie was Amy.
Did you just not watch episode 3? Remember in episode 3, she was doing some grindy dancing up against him and then said, oh, I've got a boyfriend. And then he got very angry.
But was Ryan privy to this conversation or is Ryan...
Yeah, Ryan was privy.
He doesn't care.
Ryan is like a dog.
Ryan literally was like,
down for
I'd
whatever.
still
don't
take
care.
that.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. But honestly, if I was good looking enough to get free lox bagels in the morning out of someone, I'd do it, betrothed or not. I'd be like, hello.
It feels like
bagel.
flirtatiousness is currency on these yachts, and you just have to do whatever you can to get through the charter, you know?
The guests are too polite. This is my only issue, especially these guys. I felt like they were quite a lot of fun on the last episode. This episode, they were quite tame. But like when she wanted some scrambled eggs, and she's like, said to her friend, do you think I'll be able to order some scrambled eggs? And then one of the stewardesses come out and she's like, oh, do you think it would be okay if I got some scrambled eggs? And I'm like, demand some scrambled
I
eggs.
know.
In fact, kick up a stink about the fact there weren't scrambled eggs there for you already.
But is this because Ryan has created this climate of fear?
This is the thing. It's like it's this toxic mask stuff.
But
Like,
how did the
where-
guests
to the
know
guests
that?
because they hear him yelling in the galley.
But just so, I mean, and then the eggs he served up didn't even look that
They
good.
look
They look
rank.
so bad. They look like porridge or
Yeah,
something.
and they look like that watery hotel
Yes.
egg.
Not
No.
good.
My brother-in-law makes scrambled eggs with eggs and water.
No.
That's not okay.
It's not okay. In a saucepan.
Why?
Oh, horrible.
Because the scrambled eggs are one of those foodstuffs which can be real rank or like frickin' incredible, and it's not really that much of a different like effort-wise or technique. It's just like, come on.
Anyway, she was happy with that. It wasn't even served with any bread or anything.
You
Like,
just
a-
egg on plate, right?
Just
God.
jump jump overboard, Ryan.
Yeah.
Like such a shit breakfast. Like
It's
just bagels.
terrible.
Oh, and his
And
like
fruit.
comments. His
Oh.
comments. What was it like?
Whenever you're ready, Duncan.
Wait
He
for this
basically just wants to do
comment.
the minimum, and like
Yeah. I do what I need, and that's enough. My health is more important. It's like you don't have to. It's not bad for your health to do to give a shit about your work and about your customers and to like try and make nice scrambled eggs. You monster.
That's right. And he brought up his dead dad?
Yeah, he said his dad died from overwork, and his dad had a pizzeria, I believe, and so he doesn't want to. He doesn't
Ergo,
want
I won't deal with the plates.
Between Benny and Ryan, there is a lot of haunted by the dead folks going on in this charter.
This episode belongs to Culver.
Oh my gosh.
We start with the beach trip where Culver decides that he's going to be...
Chief Entertainment Officer.
Again.
CEO, bitch.
It's like the most wholesome Van Wilder that you've ever met.
Yes. Oh my God.
In the meantime, Ryan's rustling up a delicious cuisine of tacos.
Again.
Oh.
Hold the brisket.
Yeah. Leave the brisket.
And Aisha dares to ask for some platters for the guests, and Ryan's like, of what? And Aisha's like, I don't know. What do you normally do? You know?
Seems like you're sort of a chef.
You're the chef.
A chefy.
He's just really don't want to do anything.
He's so affronted at the idea of having to do any work.
The thing is with Benny is like Benny doesn't want to do anything, but he knows he's a bit shit.
Yeah.
Whereas Ryan doesn't want to do anything and thinks he's God's gift to
Yeah.
food and women maybe as well. Anyway, the guest being just honestly the best guest ever, just didn't complain about anything, even when bloody Jamie had to jump in the tender and go back and rescue the
Get
brisket.
the brisket. Well, they were taking belfies.
They were.
Belfies at the sunset.
Not just belfies. It was like the front of the belf.
Yeah.
Bend over belfies, and also just. It's not. They just like pull the pants down and take a photo.
It's like a mooning.
It's like, look, you've got young children, Jane. Like, they seem to enjoy their bums as much as little kids do.
Yeah.
It's like the way they just like walk into a room with their bum out and just be like, yes, bitch. It's out again. I found the funniest joke again. And it's like
so
these adults
accurate.
are 100% that. It's great.
Are they wrong though?
No.
Maybe we're all wrong.
I think if you go back about 3 or 4 years, you'll have heard plenty of discussion in the Real Pod about how I think bums are better than the front bits. Just personal preference of like what I'm want to look at. It's definitely bums.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
more
it's
cut
all
and dry, isn't
bum.
it? A bum.
All bum.
I think the whole thing nestles under the. I like bum as an umbrella term.
What? For fronts as
the
well?
whole thing?
Yeah.
Fronts and
It's
backs?
all bum.
It's not.
Do you know what I mean?
It's definitely not.
It's not all bum.
It's not all bum.
Well, it's their own.
That is not a defence in court. Magda did a lovely Polish dance, even though she's Latina. Or is she Polish? It's hard to know. And while the guests are over on the beach, Tumi is back at the table where it's like his spiritual home, tablescaping up a storm.
Tablescape. I didn't know it was a thing.
Good. I respect her craft so much.
It's still wild to me that tablescaping is how she got into yachting. Like, is it that much of an important thing?
I think so.
It gets you the job.
I mean, decor is the only thing that makes it pirate, right?
Yeah.
It's not like...
Well, that and Vivid.
Yeah, true.
Oh, wow, this was a party. And again, despite having strippers and rock and rollers and all of this, it was Culver's party. It was nobody else's party but Culver's.
He is just...
It's transformative.
Yeah.
I was like, who is that? When he walked out in his gorgeous...
Joe Dirt.
His gorgeous mullet.
I feel like when I watched him come out and then do that crazy like butt jiggly sort of situation, like it was very funny on the TV, but I feel like it would have been unsurvivably funny in real life if one of your colleagues
incredible
just popped up and did that to like Australia's finest stripper.
He did all right, though.
Freaking
Oh, it was
crushed.
amazing.
He's a beast.
Imagine having the, I don't know, the confidence to be able to like do a handstand and kind of like fall reverse on someone like that.
With a premium butt jiggle.
I just, honestly, he's been practicing. We know he works out.
Well, he's the chief.
He's the chief
entertainment
officer. Self-appointed.
He is so lovely and charming. Like, he's got no bad points that I can see.
Yeah, and even though, like, anyone else doing that would have been gross, you know, but it was Culver, so it's like, honestly, put it on a Hallmark card.
Such a surprise. He should get an extra part of the tip for that, I reckon.
Yeah.
Definitely.
You know, if he was your workmate, you'd be like...
Yeah.
No, you'd be tucking
You'd be doing the,
to his pirate
making
pants,
it rain.
his pantaloons.
Can we just talk quickly about the guest who, just prior to the dinner, popped up to the captain's bridge? And,
With that booty.
Yeah. And,
Wow, that was some of the most, like, aggressively, like, horny come on, like I've ever seen. It was so
The captain was very overwhelmed.
He was. She's not his type, though. He likes an au naturel brunette. So... Me?
I was about to say, Jane.
Thank you.
That is interesting.
I will give him a call. After the lovely dinner, the couple of the guests jump into the spa and Culver arrives with some warm towels and he also smuggles in some warm mullets for them to wear.
Why does he just have a bag full of mullets?
I don't know, but I feel like that's rich coming from you.
Extremely. If anyone can answer that, are you just feeling threatened?
I threw out my wigs.
Do you know what? You're Culver.
Yeah.
I would not have the confidence to do what Culver did.
Maybe not, but you can get there. He wasn't always like that, probably.
That's true.
You know, he's been in training for years and years. It's never too late.
I can work on it.
I mean, actually, just look, let's think about the fact that the guests requested topless waiters. Aisha asked Culver to do some topless waiting. She didn't ask him to dress up as a pirate with a mullet, draw a on his face, and grind on the guests.
That's implied.
That's the initiative that this guy has. It's just incredible. And the same initiative saw him jump in the spa.
And his guts.
For 15 minutes.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, they kept doing these timestamps to try and imply that it was just this epic thing. But the whole escapade took 15, which was an entirely appropriate amount. Like, even when he's being, like, incredibly naughty, he's actually on the right side of the line.
He's the Danny that Danny could never be. If you cast your mind back to Danny from, season 2 early on. He was in the spa for, a long time.
Is Danny restrained?
And Danny, and Danny hooked up with a guest on a beach and all that kind of thing. But Culver, like he said, I can't jump, I can jump in for 15 minutes, but then I got to get back to work, and he gets in, he gets the photo.
Who does it?
Amazing.
Just incredible. Tomi wasn't happy.
No, she was tired. She'd been busting her ass doing those tables all afternoon.
She wanted to get to bed. But honestly, I'm Team Culver on this one. He wanted to keep the guests happy.
And everyone.
Yeah.
And
the proof is in the tip.
And Jamie was completely chill about it too. He was like,
Jamie had a good attitude, to be honest.
Although Jamie has, needs to pull his finger out.
He really needs to.
So to speak.
He really, really does. Cap's not happy with the deck crew. They're standing around a lot, and of course it all falls on the bosun's shoulders. They're just not being asked to do anything. And they're not.
But they need to be proactive. There's. It feels like on a boat, the work is literally never done. And so there's got to be things.
And maybe the captain is too hands-on, that he's, when he was setting up the beach picnic and Jamie was kind of kicking back on the tender, being like, this is great, we can just watch the sunset or whatever.
Yeah.
The captain hadn't been offloading the skis or whatever.
The captain needs to lead by example by delegating, and so then everyone else can delegate downwards.
Yeah.
And then
just realise we're sitting here wearing the captain's hats and you're talking so confidently.
I'm actually thinking, I can learn from Captain.
This is maybe the captain's hat that we're wearing. Maybe we need to, this is something we can do on a day that we're feeling a little bit maybe imposter syndrome-ish. Pop on the captain's hat and just embody captain,
Yeah.
Walk around the office and...
just give random people orders to do shit.
And then whip out the wetvac and go sort out the toilets.
I've caused a major drama in toilet number 2. Get the wetvac. I don't even work with you.
Right, where are we? Benny's freaking out about having to go down to the dungeon again to flake the anchor.
The
dungeon. And I think there's there's some anchor drama coming up in the next episode too, we saw in the preview.
Yeah.
But next episode looks amazing.
Yeah, it does. But I'm just loving it so much. Brittini just will dive headfirst into the dungeon and is now going, I don't need that stick. I'll just do it by hand. She's such a daredevil.
That's going to get her.
I love Brittini.
That's going to get her in some trouble though. Ryan at one point said to a guest, "You still have my sausage on your plate," which is gross.
Yeah, he was trying to make it horny.
Oh, he was totally trying to make it horny.
But they're in the industry.
Yeah, it's true.
I know, but
she came back with something
It's
better.
It's Ryan.
If it was Jamie, sure. But he wouldn't do that. And nor would Culver.
I've got a note here that Aisha and Ryan have some more biffo about the timing of meals, but is that even worth noting anymore?
No.
That's just
eternal problem.
Also, in my translation from handwriting to text, typed text, my program's got crusts depart. Should be guests depart. They had a great time.
Some of them were crust.
That's true.
Yeah.
There was definitely some crust left behind.
He was a real old guy when he was dressed as a pirate. I was like, that looks like shit.
I disagree. I think that is what pirates would have looked like.
It was like Keith Richards when he's in Pirates of the Caribbean.
Who?
Well, Keith Richards just in life.
Well, he's alive.
Who was it who had the full Pirates of the Caribbean wig?
It might have been a real pirate.
It was unbelievably Pirates of the Caribbean. Say no more. Okay, they didn't have a single complaint. They were just very grateful for everything. Honestly, fine, but I think next week's guests are going to be...
I just want someone to get fucked off about the real Av food.
Yeah.
Ryan needs his comeuppance.
He does.
It was interesting the way they passed the tip. He did a little
backhand. Yeah, just a cheeky
I thought
joke.
it was because he might be embarrassed about the size of the tip, but it was... hefty.
It was substantial.
Does the cap go away and divvy up the money and then bind it in these equal amounts? It just seems
really
far
stressful.
too convenient that everyone gets their equal amount. They just happen to have the exact
and they had little
divisible.
yeah. No, I think it's fine.
Alex, it was really interesting talking to Aisha. You would have heard had you listened. She told us that this is the most real reality TV show that you could imagine. Like the crew don't interfere, as in the camera crew, don't interfere with what's happening on the boat
like Alex
at all.
already knows
She did tell me that in our interview published on the spin-off, which I'm sure you've read.
She wrote it. I have actually read it, and I knew that. I found out on your interview.
Okay.
But, so this is actually really like, you don't listen to our podcast and you don't read, so I'm the only good one.
I'm too busy working myself to the bone, flaking the anchor, tablescaping, carrying plates for chefing.
There's actually been a little bit of tablescaping going on
True.
here today. It's like some kind
beautiful.
of crappy ribbons.
There were some ribbons wrapped around the boxes that our lovely captain's hats came in, and they've made their way to the middle of the table next to this lovely stain.
Out of all the scapings, which are landscaping, manscaping and tablescaping, what's the best one?
What was the first one? Landscaping.
Landscaping for me, I need some.
Oh, yeah.
If anyone to me wants to come around and try her tablescaping skills on my land, that would be great.
It's funny there's no womanscaping.
Yeah.
Is that the...
Because I feel like there's actually more scaping goes on with woman.
Yeah, maybe it just doesn't even need a word because it's...
Are they the only scapings? Surely there's more scaping.
There's got to be more scaping.
Table surely isn't one of the exclusive 3 scapings that
If you know any more scapings, send a letter to The Real Pod, 615 New North Road, Morningside 1025, Auckland.
Level 1.
Yeah, okay.
22k in Australian tips, which works out to be 1.4k US, which works out to be about 2k New Zealand each.
Pretty
roughly.
good. Pretty good.
And we finish on the deck crew getting chewed out by the captain.
That's right.
It's hot, to be honest.
Next week looks so good.
Can't wait.
Looks like we've got some
grumpy
guests.
Not, like, given that we have access to the full series now, to restrain. But restrain I have, and I'm sure you have too, haven't you?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She's jolly good.
Look, we hope you're watching along at home on Bravo, 9:30 on Tuesday nights. Thank you very much for joining us. We'll be back next week with more me hearties.
If you've listened this deep into the podcast, I assume that you derived some animal pleasure from it. We would really appreciate it if you're not already a member of the spin-off members, that if you would join up. We need you.
We need you.
Give us a tip like Culver. We are the Culvers
we are the
of
Culver
the spin-off, really.
of the spin-off, and we're shaking it for you. And we need you to give us a tip.
And we've got mullet wigs on. You just can't see them.
It's just our actual hair.
Yeah.
Thank you very, very much for joining us. Thank you for that impassioned call out from Duncan. Thank you, Alex. T.I. here is in absentia, but he is going to be editing this podcast together for his sins. So thank you, T.I. here. Thank you, Rachel LaRue, because I just love saying your name.
So good.
And you have to listen to every goddamn episode of this.
Great artist.
LaRue.
Remember?
Yeah, I do. Spelled with an L-A rather than an L-E, with the la and le.
Takes the feminine form, does it?
Carry the 5. And that's our podcast. Goodbye. From the Spin-Off Podcast Network, you've been listening to The Real Pod. It was hosted by me, Jane Yee, along with Alex Casey and most of the time Duncan Grieve. Te Aihe Butler made it all sound good, and Rachel LaRue got us out to the world.
Just quickly, if you enjoyed this podcast and value what we do at The Spin-Off, please consider joining the Spin-Off members. All our mahi is made possible by our members, and we wouldn't be here today without their support. Tautoko mai and head to thespinoff.co.nz/members to sign up.
Are you curious about how business can be better? I'm Simon Pound, and I host Business is Boring, a podcast where I kōrero with some of the most interesting people in entrepreneurship, commerce, and making things happen. Tune in to Business is Boring every Tuesday, brought to you by the Spin-Off Podcast Network in partnership with Spark Business Lab.
Kia ora, I'm Duncan Grieve, founder of The Spin-Off. You can help us keep all of The Spin-Off's award-winning journalism free for everybody by becoming a member today at thespinoff.co.nz/donate.
The Spin-Off Podcast Network.